Okay. On August 1st, I was going through Dickson on my way to the Honda dealership in Ardmore to get my air repaired. I had called them about 9 to make the appointment for the diagnosis. I was concerned about getting this repair done because this is predicted to be the hottest week, and I drive back and forth. I left work at Callaway Nursing Home in Sulphur at 10:56. At 11:30, I was pulled over for failing to slow down to 45 from 55. I pulled into a church parking lot on the south side of the highway because there was construction through there, and it wasn't safe to pull over along the highway. The officer had me get out of my vehicle and into his. He informed me that he was going to give me a break on my speeding ticket when we got in his vehicle, and he would not charge me double for the area being a work zone with workers present. The workers were at least 100 feet off the highway, and they were clearing a large area. On his ticket, he pointed out that he saw me at 56, but caught me at 55, put that in the comment box, put that the workers were present.
Hold on.
He had me sign.
Was he using radar?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. He had me sign the ticket. I told him thank you for giving me a break, and I really appreciate that. I mean, it's in, last couple of months, stuff happened. I'm just kind of strapped. He asked what I would be willing to do to show my appreciation, and I said I would say a gracious thank you, and that's all. He asked what I would do if I were arrested. I told him I really don't do anything wrong to get arrested. So, I don't know. Then he pointed at the ticket and said, does this make a difference? And I said, no, not really, and I'm not sure what he was pointing at. I thought he was pointing out that he caught me at 55, but he saw me go 56, so I wasn't sure. They're talking about the road workers, and I wasn't on anything and let me go that day. I've never been through this, and he knows this is part of the screening conversation in the car. He knows I've never been arrested. He knows I've never been in any trouble. He knows I have a medical license in the state of Oklahoma for being an occupational therapy assistant. He knows I don't have family in the area or anybody else to depend on.
Let me go back over your story, and then I have a few more questions.
Okay.
All right. So let me make sure I have it correct. What you're reporting is that you left work on the morning that we're talking about now, and you were traveling to go get your car fixed. You were pulled over by a police officer in Dickson, Oklahoma for speeding. The officer then told you that you had a number of violations that he could write you up for, but he was going to give you a break. You thanked him for giving you a break, and then he made a suggestion that what you would be willing to do in return for the break you were being given, and you basically said, what did you say, a friendly smile or something like that? You said a
gracious thank you.
A gracious thank you is what you told him.
I would say a gracious thank you.
Okay, and then at some point he started asking you other inappropriate questions about your children's ancestry and the race of their fathers, and he made a comment that it's lucky that they weren't you happy that they aren't your wetback or the Mexican. Okay, Mexican.
He was talking about that some people think that the road workers are just wetbacks, and he kept talking, but as soon as he said that word, I got really uncomfortable. He's Mexican, which I didn't know that either. I don't know the ethnicity of the road workers. I didn't pay attention to what color they were or anything like that. I'm just going to get my freaking air conditioner fixed.
Okay, so this officer who did this is okay, hold on. So the officer who did this is Latino himself, and then he starts he starts to ask you more inappropriate questions. You then are feeling like this isn't going very well. You just want to get out of there. You had already been issued the ticket and signed for it, and then he ultimately suggests that you must be high or that you're on drugs.
Yeah, he said my eyes were red and watery and that my speech was slurred. He didn't say those. He said, ma'am, your eyes are red and your pupils are dilated. That's what he said.
Okay.
I really didn't know what to say to that other than, oh, I've been driving in the wind. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. And you felt that he was keeping this conversation going strictly in order to get you into a conversation about sex.
Actually, I think he was doing this conversation to show me that there's going to be grounds for him to arrest me, or at least he can make it look that way.
Got you. I got you.
In order to put me in a compromised position.
Okay.
My only way out was to blow. He was going to force that upon me, or I was going to go to jail.
Okay. And I'm going to find your complaint form just a moment. Okay, I've got your complaint form in front of me now. What is the officer's name?
John Ruiz, R-U-I-Z.
Okay, John Ruiz. Okay, got it.
See, and I really, whenever he pointed down at the ticket, maybe he was pointing out at his name. I'm not really sure, but it was a scribble. All you could tell was R. I didn't know if he was, which this doesn't matter, but we have a lot of Native Americans here. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, well, what the heck? Is he Indian? Or is he prejudiced against other Mexicans? Where is he going with this? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Why is he doing this? I didn't know that I was getting sucked into a dirty cop trap where he was getting ready to say, your only way out is to blow.
Okay, and his suggestion to blow was to give him a blowjob.
I have to come to that determination just because he never gave me a breathalyzer.
Okay, but he was standing at your door and he unzipped his pants.
Yes.
When he made that comment.
When he stepped into the door, after I said, okay, he stepped into my doorway.
Okay, actually, Dolores, can you just hold on? Hold on. Can you hold a moment?
Yes.
Hannah Dickson.
Yes. Can I have the police chief's office?
He's not in. Can I take a message?
No, this is going to be required to be someone in the administration to deal with it immediately. I have an officer who's out there attempting sexual assaults, and I want to report it to someone right now, so I want a live person on the phone.
Well, I'm a live person. I'm the town clerk. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, are you a police officer? Do you have authority over the police?
I can get the mayor to call you.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on, and then you can really have the mayor give me a call. My name is Mr. Kamal. I'm with policeabuse.com. I'm a retired police detective, and I have a woman on the line right now who was approached by one of your officers who asked her to give him oral sex during a traffic stop. And I believe her.
This?
Yes.
When?
Pardon me?
When did this occur?
Yes.
Okay. The person I'm speaking with right now on the line was stopped just a few days ago. This happened. And can you give me the date when this happened?
August 1st.
Okay, August 1st.
Okay.
All right. And
okay.
The reason
you know about what time we have videos, and I have to have the mayor to pull it up.
Well, it was about 11:30 a.m. She was pulled over in a traffic stop for speeding, and the officer made some inappropriate comments and then made a suggestive comment before unzipping his pants and was attempting to coerce her into a sexual act. And I just want to say this to you, ma'am. My client is a bit afraid and concerned for her safety. And I want to make sure that this information is not delivered to the officer, but that it goes through the proper channels within the city administration. And then if they want, what she says is that after she had signed the ticket and thanked the officer for not piling on other charges, because he told her that he had other charges he could actually place on her, she said thank you, and then he asked her, well, you know, what are you going to do? What do you do for thanks? And she said something to the, something like, well, a hearty thank you is all I'm going to do. He continued talking to her. He then went over and searched her car. He then said, you sound like your speech is slurred. You look like you've been drinking. What are you on? She told him, I'm not on anything. Now keep in mind, this is 11:30 in the morning. She's leaving work. And the only thing she had to drink is a cup of coffee. And she told him that. From that point, the officer continues to fish and ask questions about whether or not she's had something. and then tells her that he wants her to get out of the car and take a sobriety test. She complies with the test. She says that he was giving her test for nystagmus. I know you know what that is. It's the pen test. She said it was hot. She was really tired and she was unable to do the test. He gave it to her over and over again. And she said the test made her dizzy. So she told him she couldn't go any further. At that point, he arrested her, took her to jail. And then at that point, I'm sorry, let me back up. I'm skipping over the most important part. After he had placed her under arrest and had her handcuffed in the back of the car, he started asking her questions about her children and whether or not their parents. He mentioned something about Latinos being wetbacks, and that isn't she glad she didn't have a Latino for one of her children's fathers. And she said she was really uncomfortable. He continued along this line of questioning and comments, and then at some point he got out of the car, walked around, searched her car, and then asked her if she wanted to get out of this, and implied that if she gave him oral sex, that he would release her. She could get out of the DUI arrest. She says that he unzipped his pants.
Plummer?
Pardon me?
Mrs. Plummer's the one who said that he told that to Miss Plummer that she could get out of the arrest.
Yeah, I may be misstating her exact words, and I have everything she said to me recorded, so I'll supply that to you. I'm just paraphrasing what I can recall from the conversation. I just got the phone with her. And essentially what she was telling me is that he implied that if she gave him oral sex, he could then release her from this situation. He told her you can get out of it. There's only, and I think her words were, there's only one way out of this, and that's for you to blow. And she initially thought he had some sort of a DUI device he was going to give her, but she said he never pulled the device out, and then she heard him unzip his pants. She said she was too afraid to look in the direction of his genitals, so she just kept her head face forward, and they had some additional conversation, and she did not do what he asked her. He then took her to jail and had her booked, and as you may or may not know, she had zero alcohol in her system from the blood test. She didn't do a breathalyzer, so I can't say she didn't blow, but she wasn't drunk, and that requires some explanation. And as I told her in the initial conversation I had with her, I work DUI, and typically when you stop someone on a DUI stop, you don't have a single charge like speeding. That's all she was charged with. You usually try to have a driving pattern where the person was stopping and starting or weaving or something else. So that's what got my suspicion. And then she said, well, then she led into the rest of the story. Then I understood what was going on. Now, I'm not one to presume this officer is guilty solely on the word of someone, calling me and telling me a story. But what she says can perhaps be verified by the officer's webcam or video cam in the car. But she told me that she tried to obtain a copy of the video and that the clerk said they didn't have video, wasn't available. I don't know about all of that, but I'm telling you right now that I'm requesting that if you have video, that it be preserved as evidence in this case, and if the video is destroyed for some reason, I'm going to assume it was destroyed for a purpose, which is to keep that evidence from making its way to a courtroom. So I'm recording my call right now, and I'm asking that if there is video, that it be retrieved by your investigators and that it be protected and not destroyed. Okay. I will email you her contact information and the information on her complaint in about an hour or so. And she's on her way to work, so I don't know if she's going to be available. But if you can tell me what you're doing or how you'd like for her to communicate with you, I'll make sure that she contacts you at the earliest possible convenience.
Okay, well, let's see here. Is she, because I'm going to have to find out, is she supposed to come to court or anything like that, do you know?
She paid for the speeding ticket, and she says the DUI charge was dropped.
Okay.
She's already been to court.
She's already been to court, okay.
Yes.
Well, what I need to do then is you go ahead and email this information to me.
Okay.
And I'll get in touch with her. I'm sure I have her number.
Yep.
In our records here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I will, of course, I need to visit with this officer when he comes in.
Okay, I'm going to email you I'm going to give you my email address, and you can just send me an email that way.
No, how about you, can you just fax me her report?
Yes. If you can give me the fax number, I'll take that.
580
Mm-hmm.
223
Uh-huh.
6506.
65.
You'll just send that to me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what? I'm sorry. What is your name, Chief? I missed the first part.
John.
Mm-hmm.
Last name is Pemberton. Pemberton.
Okay, Chief. Pemberton.
And who's your supervisor?
I am the supervisor. I'm the CEO of policeabuse.com.
CEO. You're the supervisor. Okay. And this is your number, because I called this other number, nobody answered, or nobody would.
Yeah, you can reach me at this number, which is, I'll give you two numbers you can get me at, 800-473-5097.
Okay, I have that one.
Okay, and then a second number, I'll give you my direct cell phone. It's 850-459-3003.
3003?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I didn't get your first name.
First name is Diop, D-I-O-P. Last name Kamau,
Right.
K-A-M-A-U.
You. Okay, you're from California?
Yes, I actually work with LA County Sheriffs as a detective, and now this is what I do. So you can actually get my credentials and my information on our website, policeabuse.com. It gives you a full account of what we do.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I just curious. I'm from California, too.
Oh, really? What part? L.A.?
Fresno.
Fresno, no kidding. Okay. So how'd you end up in Oklahoma?
Just ended up moving, getting away from the big city.
Well, I'm in Tallahassee, Florida now, so I left the big city as well myself, so I understand it.
Yes, good deal.
All right, Chief. Well, listen, there's no, I know every department has its process. We don't want to impugn your entire department by one incident, and we don't know the facts yet. But I do want to tell you, we took it seriously. We thought you should know right away, and we'll give you time to do what you do.
Okay, I appreciate that, sir.
All right, Chief. Have a great day, and give me a call back if you need any further information. I will fax that to you within about 2 hours, as soon as I can get to a fax machine.
That'll be great. I appreciate it, sir.
Okay. Have a great day.
You have a great day.
Thank you.